Alrighty, guys, welcome back to Chair League. This is Jason bringing you another Chair League match. This one going to be a Division 2 match here between Creep Tumor and Disaster Area on Tomb of the Spider Queen, the Division 2 map for this week. Joined again by my co-casting partner and my teammate and good friend Plague. Thank you for joining me again, once again, sir.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
So we're getting just a little bit of a lobby issue sorted out here. We've actually got too many men on the field here for the side of Disaster Area. All of their sub players have come in, so they're trying to decide who exactly is going to be playing and who's not going to be playing.
Yeah.
But we do have everybody in the lobby. We've sent out all the draft links, and we are going to get this one going very soon here on one of our favorite maps, Tomb of the Spider Queen. Yet again, Plague, second one tonight.
Yep, absolutely. One of my, as I said before, favorite maps. I just love how close quarters it is, how you can flanking maneuvers and bush checks and things like that, and then able to having to use your teammates and to coordinate very well to goaltend the two turn-ins and how to manage those. Is it good to push? You have an advantage. Do you push the advantage, or do you go back and get your turn in the coins, or how are you going to do that? That's what I love about this map.
Yeah, definitely siege damage a premium here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. You might think maybe Creep Tumor might be looking for an early Zagara here. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of a leading name there.
Yeah, possibly. But you know me, I'm a Sylvanas type of guy, and I think you are too. What
does that make us exactly? I'm confused.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is either. But somebody that she should be a must-have for some team. And then also too, I'll go out and also say it's Falstead. Either you ban them or you play them. Instant ban or instant play. I don't know how else you can do that. I mean, that's gonna be difficult to see how they're going to manage that. If one team gets the other, but it'll be good to see. I'm looking forward to it.
And a big prioritization put here on Rhaegar by Creep Tumor, which I love. He's my dog. I gotta love the early Rhaegar pick. It is going to give Disaster Area a little bit of an opportunity to pick up Zolder, the first big siege damage hero. That can really lay out a lot of extra pressure, both in aiding the push with the spiders and just in general putting up some damage on those front walls to be able to soften them up for when those first web weavers come out. Play.
Right. So it looks like Disaster Area taking the Zul may not be going for the Sylvanas, and this is my bias. I think that might be a bit of a misstep. In that sense, but who knows? They did get the Li Ming, who is a devastating damage dealer. I really feel that currently right now, she could be better than Kael'thas. Although Kael'thas in this map would be pretty exceptional too. So either one would be good. Creep Tumor looking to get that Nubarak, very very divey, solid tank option right there.
And a Nubarak, probably the biggest counter in the game to Li Ming. With those scarabs constantly coming out, being a very annoying thing for Li Ming to have to deal with, just getting in the way of those orbs and missiles that she's constantly throwing out to try to harass. Just soaking all of that harass into those little useless scarabs that a Nubarak constantly has. And we also see the Zagara. There it is, the leading Zagara. We should have seen it coming, Plague.
We should have. I don't know. We should have called that out.
If only we had some kind of clue. We'll see what chokehold we want to see Creep Tumor go ahead and apply here. Sylvanas, I think, would be a little bit of a waste of a ban here, as they already have Zol. Not likely they would go for both. They could, though. Could Disaster Area, getting a little bit of extra push along with the shutting down. But ultimately, we'll have to see what direction they want to take this in. The Sergeant Hammer ban, very interesting, coming out from Disaster Area, though.
It is. I don't know if they know something about Creep Tumor that we don't, but nobody really plays Hammer in a competitive environment right now, unless it's some sort of niche thing. So I don't know if that was a wasted ban or if they know something that we don't.
ETC will be the ban coming out from Creep Tumor. A very smart ban. They already have a Nubarak, so they don't really have to worry too much about picking up another big tanky frontliner. We'll have to see if they want to go with another one. A Nubarak can also be played as a bruiser, so plenty of options still with Creep Tumor's draft, but a good chokehold there. ETC, probably the best tank in the game right now with his high CC and high health pool. We'll have to see how Disaster Area wants to respond with that. They haven't picked up a healer or a tank yet. We could also possibly see them go with a ranged auto attack dealer. They already have their burst damage. But we will see Sonya. They're going to go with a bruiser here, along with Zol, still with no tank or healer.
Right, picking up the Sonya real quickly. I wonder if they're going to be thinking if they're one of these teams that solo tanks Sonya, which we've seen before. Um, but yeah, I would imagine this would be some sort of a healer pick here, or maybe even a pickup of a tank, just to deny Creep Tumor some other maybe dual tank they might have been going with. I'm not sure. Um, but interesting pickup right here. Now, no healer, no tank yet.
Yeah, we do also see a lot of aggressive builds to go along with Zol. And there we see it, Karazim, another aggressive dive-in healer. When you're able to get those Bone Prisms out to follow up with Li Ming's abilities, and along with Sonya being able to spear in, putting a lot of burst damage out. Not a whole lot of sustained burst damage like Li Ming, but she can throw a lot of damage down in a very short amount of time with the way her Fury works. And then, of course, Karazim can always Radiant Dash in there, pop a bunch of punches in there, and then get right back out safely with that second Radiant Dash charge.
Right. We've seen Karazim a lot today. So we're casting the pro match earlier this evening, and then again here with a disaster area. He's becoming more of a staple name in amateur competitive play, which is really cool to see. Because I've always liked him, and I've just started getting into him. And we see a Creep Tumor pick up the Chen as their bruiser.
And we know that one's not Karazim because it's on the other side. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
That was an inside joke from the last one. I apologize. I shouldn't throw those out as much. But Chen is going to be the pickup here from Creep Tumor. Another big divey frontliner, a good pairing with a new Barak, diving buddies, being able to go in and just be a terror to Li Ming, to Karazim maybe in the back, Zol as he tries to run away. Just in general, able to do a lot. And Illidan, talk about diving buddies. This is a full dive comp coming out from Creep Tumor.
It is, and it's very, very melee heavy with only one range hero and Zagara. They're going to have to be very, very coordinated how they're going to work this because getting too divey here, especially with a Li Ming and a Sonya and a Karazim on the other team, could be costly. But if they can put it together and throw it down, they're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and get this started real quick here.
And we're seeing Disaster Area pick up Diablo as their main tank, which I am a big fan of Diablo. I love his charge, especially in this particular map. Specking into his charge Q ability, where I think you get longer duration when you smash him into a wall. The very, very advantageous, and the APOC can be absolutely devastating in these tight corridors of Tomb of the Spider Queen. So good pickup there for Disaster Area.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this Diablo works out. Diablo's really fallen out of the meta for quite a lot of people due to the fact that he's not really all that tanky. Karazim is able to put out good AoE heals, but not able to put a lot of direct heals. Diablo does have some problems on this map specifically, where if he ends up picking up those gems, Diablo's mechanic of being able to die and come back can be really good on certain maps, but on maps like this one and Blackheart's Bay, where he could be holding gems or coins that can be very precious, you really don't want a hero that's got a lot of death mechanics in it, to where it's really not advantageous for them to die on these kind of maps, and so it can be kind of a hindrance. I really like the draft coming out from Creep Tumor. They saw Zol, they saw Li Ming and Sonya early in this draft period, and as soon as they saw Karazim, they decided they were going to dive harder than their opponents. That was going to be their goal, clearly, from this draft, and I think they can do it. And with Zagara's vision on this map, I think they're going to have a lot of success being able to do that. If they can control and bully on the turn-ins and be able to goaltend well for that, they're going to have the vision to be able to give them the opportunity to do that, and they can just push these guys right off. I think they got the stronger team to do that and the stronger healer to do that in Rhaegar.
Right, and Vision is a premium in this particular map with Zagara, so solid pickup there. But honestly, in my opinion, Vision is probably this is the most important Vision map of the map rotation, and having Zagara on your side for Creep Tumor is going to be very, very good. But like you said, if they dive in too quick, it could be pretty devastating, especially with that Bone Prism and Sonya's spins for wins, and then of course Li Ming's Orb coming out. Followed up or even initiated by an APOC.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that does come out here. Ultimately, I think the Diablo pick might be my personal nail in the coffin. I think I would have rather seen them try to go with somebody that can dive and do a little more damage, maybe a Johanna. Also, better wave clear. Diablo's got okay wave clear, though. Not a bad secondary pick, but I probably would have gone with Johanna. But I'm going to go ahead and go with Creep Tumor. I really like their aggressive build comp, not being afraid to go with the non-meta choice here, being willing to innovate and go with this beefy front line. But we are loading in to Tomb of the Spider Queen here, this Division 2 match between Creep Tumor and Resting Disaster Area. Yeah. I'm sorry, I had the wrong name in my head there. I don't know even where I even got that. But we're going to introduce the teams here. We got Creep Tumor on the left, the blue team. Smithel is going to be on Rhaegar. Mathrin is going to be Zagara. Cloud is going to be on Illidan. Cooks on Anubarak. And Anders Viggen is going to be on Chen.
Oh, Jesus. How the hell am I supposed to say this name? Vashta Nerda on Diablo with the Red Trunks. Netmeg on Li Ming. And Mouse the Cat on Zul. And Warnorth on Karazim. And Arcanex on Sonya.
I swear that wasn't on purpose. But both teams posture here in the mid. Zul maybe trying to bait out a little bit, doing the spin of friendship as we do finally see these this wave start to crash here into the middle. This is a smaller lane here at Tomb of the Spider Queen. We are going to see the two solo laners on bottom, Zagara versus Sonya. Diablo getting a little bit of early aggression here, charging in. Cloud taking a little bit of damage on Illidan, and all of Creep Tumor actually taking quite a lot of damage. Chen there taking a lot of harass from Li Ming. They're going to clear that wave and go ahead and go to the top. Zul's wave clear being felt early here, Plague.
Right. Taking a look at the first Tier 1 talents, Shade sticks out in my mind from Zul. Direct response to that Illidan auto attack, a way to get him to try to have some armor as Illidan dives in on him. Nothing else too out of the ordinary, though.
Meanwhile, in bottom, Zagara getting a lot of harass out on Sonya, dominating this, and as their name would suggest, laying down these Creep Tumors, starting to get the vision started already. A pretty roundabout setting here for Zagara. We are also seeing the confident rotations. We are going to see a huge rotation here. Zagara's in a lot of trouble. She's going to get hit by Bone Prison. We're going to see the orb come out. Diablo's going to charge in and roll her over, but Zagara is going to make it out safely. Oh my goodness!
He did. If Diablo could have had a little bit better, and this is definitely not his fault, but had a better angle where he flipped him directly back into the lane where Zagara would have to actually go around him, he might have been able to secure the kill on Zagara, but the way that he was flipped, he actually got a little bit closer to the gate that way, so he was able to save himself. Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take that one step further because at that point, Zagara was bone prisoned. If he just walks up to her, waits until that bone prison's coming up, he can flip her, push her back into the team, and that's a dead bug.
That's true. You're absolutely right.
But we will still see the rotation. They do get back up in time to not lose too much XP. XP pretty close here, but we are seeing a little bit of the ammo being wasted in the top and mid from that additional creep push from Zul. We do see the bone prison being laid out on an Uberak, but that burrow charge is going to get him away safely, and just a lot of scrapping going on here, Plague.
Right. With Zul, he's got to be careful on who he puts the bone prison on, because there's a lot of those heroes on the opposing team that can do something to get out of it. The dig. And
Nubarak getting blown up. Illidan is also going to go down. The reset's being procced there. Li Ming able to throw out a lot of damage, even getting Chen really low. Chen's got to be careful with his 10 gems. Rhaegar not quite able to heal through that.
No, it wasn't. And it was kind of sort of under tower there, so that's really really aggressive on the side of disaster area here.
Yeah, and here we thought we were going to see the aggressive nature coming out from Creep Tumor, but ultimately we do. We're seeing that counter aggression that we thought we might see. The initial, they were really the first ones to go after that aggressive posture. It seemed to us more like Creep Tumor was trying to respond to that, and thus far we're seeing Disaster Era win out in that arena.
Right. Looking at the turn-in coins right now, Disaster Area just 3 coins away from getting the Sparta spawn. Creep Tumor have not turned in anything yet, and they're sitting on 53.
And yet again, we're going to see the aggressive rotation to the bottom, but thanks to that creep and that additional speed and health regen, that Zagara is gaining on creep from her level 1 talent. We do see her be able to wiggle out there despite all the CC on the side of Disaster Area, but they are going to secure this first turn, and they've been bullying. They've been taking the lanes. They haven't lost anybody or any gems left on the ground. They are able to secure that first turn in.
That's right. Good job with that. With solid rotation there. Looks like they're positioning to push out top lane. Might as well, because the gate, along with one of the cannons and the sidewall, is almost down. This probably would be the best way. But it looks like Creep Tumor is in the bot lane trying to pressure on Sonya.
Yeah, they're going to put a lot of pressure on Sonya there, make her back off and have to tap well. We're also going to see them pretty immediately take out this Web Weaver, but in the top, those front cannons were completely out of ammo, so we're going to see them pushing in very, very hard here. As we do see Zul in the mid, just trying to get some extra creep pressure in there. They're going to end up taking down the front wall in the mid, so a lot of value being gained here out of Disaster Area, soaking every lane to start that, and they're going to end up getting this front fort with little to no resistance from the side of Creep.
Right, which is surprising, because the play would be here in top lane trying to defend that fort. But Creep Tumor is elected to stay in mid lane to try to clear that out before coming up to top lane, where the Spider is still spawned with about 25% of its health left.
Yeah, and Zagara going ahead and being it there after trying to defend against Sonya. Sonya's going to end up getting one of those turrets down. Good response there in the bottom lane, at least, to be able to counter some of that pressure. But the Web Weaver in top just now finally going down, and we are going to see a little bit of pressure put out on this mid keep, but maybe a little bit too deep there, as Anubarak is going to dive in there and stall Diablo. Diablo's trying to get out, but he's just slowly making his way out. Finally, we're seeing that dive comp start to come in as Chen dives in, but Diablo is still going to be able to walk away with this.
Right, Diablo was able to get out of that, even though they were slowed like for days. However, down the bottom lane, Sonya and Zul is able to take out that front wall.
Yeah, that had to be the slowest retreat effort I've ever seen, but he did make it out somehow, by the will of Karazim, perhaps. But
yeah, possibly.
We're going to see yet another turn-in here, as we do see Diablo getting his gems in top. Going to go ahead and tumble those out before he maybe might have one of those perilous dive-ins later. We are going to see Illidan jumping in on Li Ming here, as we do see a little bit of damage coming out to her. Fight over the bottom turn-in as they do push Disaster Area out here. They're trying to secure this turn-in, but very good stall tactics coming out here from Disaster Area.
Yeah, nice job there, knowing exactly what Creep Tumor is trying to do here with this turn-in, and just babysitting those turn-in and just waiting and waiting. That's the name of this game. Once you get a bit of a lead, all you got to do is just babysit the turn-ins and deny your opponent the ability to spawn spiders. Usually works out real well for you.
We also are seeing the level 10 advantage here, and I think Creep Tumor is starting to recognize this as they take a lot of damage. Illidan in danger of dropping those coins. 26 on Chen, 24 on Illidan. They're going to end up having to back off here, and more gems are going to continue to be turned in as we see the ults come in for Disaster Area.
Right, looking at the ults right now, APOC for Diablo, Disintegrate, surprise for Ming, Poison Nova, which is my personal favorite, I believe it's much better than Mages, for Zul, waiting on Karazim, and Wrath of Berserker for Sonya.
No, Leap, you were robbed of not even being able to see Sonya in our Pro Division match, but now we're not going to see your favorite ult. I'm sorry, Plague. I wish there was something I could do, but, Wrath is the more standard approach. It is what it is.
I guess. I just think there's just a lot, maybe not a lot, but I just think there's a bit more value from Leap. Oh well.
So we will see a second turn in here. Just a dominating effort in the first half of this match here by Disaster Area. A second set of Web Weavers are going to come out pretty deep in the mid lane here, as they are going to take down this mid fort no problem. The level 10s and the ults are going to be picked up here by Creep Tumor.
Right, they're getting solid push here in the mid lane here. We got Illidan trying to take care of the top lane, about to get that down there. Zagara down in the bottom lane. However, the push in mid lane is immense, coming on the side of Disaster Area.
And we're going to see APOC come out. It's going to stun them behind the wall, but the wall is enough to keep them safe. Cloud on Illidan is going to jump right into the middle, and we're going to see the zoning keg. The keg is going to come right through and hitting a lot of them, but ultimately we are not going to see a lot of damage coming out, staying very, very healthy on the side of Disaster Area. Creep Tumor is diving in on this, though.
Oh, my, what a maw.
We are going to see Chen get very, very low. The maw catches 4 members, but there's little to no follow-up here, Plague. The dive in from a Nubarak, but nothing else.
No, not a whole lot of damage coming on the side of Creep Tumor. And Wailing Keg is the way you're supposed to use it is get behind your opponent and push them into your team, in this case into the tower, but he elected just to circle around and just kind of disrupt where they're at. No real significant advantage coming on the side of that, and we're seeing some massive push here.
Massive pushes, massive kills, and massive resets in from Li Ming, as we do see a Nubarak and Illidan fall in that, and already a keep down. Disaster Area is just wrecking it right now.
Right, not even 10 minutes in, and we're already seeing the first keep down. We're seeing why I believe Li Ming is more devastating than KT. Those resets are stupid scary. If you're a team that has to go up against a comparable Li Ming, right.
But we are going to see the turn-in secured here. Still showing signs of life here from Creep Tumor. They're not giving up yet, and the mid lane is still pushing in, but that's actually going to give them the opportunity to get a little bit of XP. As long as this lane is pushing out further now with the catapults, it gives them more of an opportunity to get XP as they try and catch up here in level.
Right, we have this. The spiders are going to spawn really far back in Creep Tumor's side of the lane, and so they have a long walk to get to their opponent's wall. And it looks like they have elected to escort the mid lane, and Disaster Area is up top taking care of clearing that lane first.
Yeah, that top one was right near it, but we did see a very, very good response from Disaster Area, going right after the one that was most threatening a structure by just eliminating that top one. We also see the aggressive rotation to mid, and the response is for Creep Tumor to go ahead and make their way to the bottom. Their last and final Web Weaver, which is now pushing in, but again, the aggressive rotation from Disaster Area, and Creep Tumor is going to start to posture on this, but their Web Weaver is down already. They're down this 13 talent tier. A huge Maw coming out is going to isolate 3, but the Wandering Keg a little bit early. Not going to get full value out of that coming out of the Maw. The Apox is going to come out. Poison Nova is going to be dealing a little bit of damage here, but Chen is going to get isolated and blown up before Ancestral can come out. Ancestral going to be reset. Rhaegar is not going to be able to cast it again. The resets are coming out, getting a lot of damage on Zagara. Zol is going to end up getting that Bone Prism out, but ultimately not responding, not continuing the chase here. And Li Ming is just wrecking even more, able to get a lot of harass out on Illidan. Oh. She is still on the chase. The juke, able to juke those missiles. And they are going to end up invading and grabbing this Bruiser camp. They might even push in here. We'll have to see what they decide to do. They're thinking about it. They're posturing. It looks like actually they're going to go. Sony's going to go up and put more harassment here on Illidan.
Right, and that's probably the good call here. Don't go too ham here. You're in a great position. If you're on a Disaster Area, just try to dual pressure a little bit here. Provide some pressure. Go where the other team is not, which is top lane currently, and see if you can get some pressure on this wall. They can get down a cannon or two. Yeah,
they're closing in on these 16 talents, just as Creep Tumor is able to finally get their 13 talents for just this brief period of time. They are actually on the same talent tier. It looks like they are going to go ahead and try and make the smart move here and try and force a fight when it could possibly win it. Chen is going to go ahead and kick in, but ultimately decides not to Wandering Keg to try and isolate anybody. The Ancestral comes out very, very early to keep him up, but Anubarak is going to end up being blown up here, as ultimately that engage turns around very, very quickly. A kind of a passive approach there. It looked like they were trying to get the engage, but then the indecision comes in, and they ended up not doing it.
All right, they didn't. Chen would a nice little jump in there to get in the middle of a Disaster Area, but just no follow-up. Really soft engaging there, and Disaster Area is just going to dump all their coins right now and get a turn in.
Yeah, I think the difference in this match thus far has been Disaster.
Oh, I love this strategy. I love this strategy.
Oh, a very nice play there as Diablo goes ahead and starts that top boss. As long as it's leashed, yeah, we are going to see the invade though. Disaster Area, but they do have level 16. Does Disaster Area? We do see right away Rhaegar getting blown up, going in too far, and they are going to end up having to back off of this. They do keep the boss leashed, however, so it doesn't just disappear. As long as these Web Weavers are up, the boss would disappear if it wasn't leashed, but they keep it active. so they will be able to capture it. And now they've got web weavers and a boss ready to push here. Rhaegar will be up in time to try to defend this, but a lot of pressure coming in here from Disaster Area.
Right. Creep Tune did an excellent job of stiffing that out, but just got caught in that APOC, and Rhaegar getting completely zoned out by that APOC, and just couldn't do anything about it, and just could no big follow-up to be able to do that. And this could be it.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of pressure here. We do see a Nubarak and Illidan trying to go out to the side lanes and soak at least long enough for this to get here. They are going to go ahead and collapse in here. Illidan maybe a little bit late to the party. Wandering Keg is going to come out to try and isolate a few people, but ultimately he's got to use it to get out and heal up. And the members of Creep Tumor are getting very, very low here. Zagara is going to end up getting hit by the boss stun, and with the web weavers pushing as well, this core is going down way too fast, Plague. That is going to be GG.
It is. It is going to be GG. There it is.
A 9-0 victory, and quite frankly, a dominating effort there by Disaster Area, staying true to what their comp was, which was diving in. Both teams kind of having the same general strategy there, but I just felt like Creep Tumor never really committed.
No, they didn't. They didn't play to their strengths very much. They had an excellent diving team with the Chen and Nubrek, of course, the Illidan, but they didn't utilize it. You argue, did you even see an offensive what's what I'm looking for? Metamorphosis from Illidan? I don't think so. Just a dominant match on the side of the Disaster Area, just cleaning house, 9-0 victory. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, and with Li Ming on the enemy team, and a dive comp, that is what you want to build against a Li Ming. They had built it. I felt like they had the tools. They just never went after Li Ming. They would dive,
right.
A couple of them would dive in at a time, but then they'd take so much heat from this Sonya, Li Ming, Diablo, Zol combo, and Karazim too. I mean, all of them are able to deal good damage on somebody that dives. But if they all dive together, it seemed to me like they had a chance. But ultimately, they decided they would dive a couple at a time, and they would just end up getting wrecked because they didn't have the rest of the team there.
No, they didn't, and it's just a complete a great performance on Disaster. I love the strategy there, turning in and then making sure they get the boss leashed first, and then I thought Creep did an excellent job of sniffing that out, but just couldn't finish it.
All right, well, that is going to do it for us tonight, guys. I'm going to go ahead and give you, as always, a snapshot of the build so you guys could check out what these guys were building. Never got to those 20 talents, but we did see some of the 16 talents at least coming out on the side of Disaster Area. Big congrats to them. Big ups as they will go ahead and win this Division 2 match and keep moving themselves on up the list. And that is actually going to be it for us tonight. We don't have any more matches tonight, and we will not be casting tomorrow. Kind of a rare Tuesday night out for me, so we're not going to be casting. But we will be back on Wednesday with more Chair League matches. And as always, I will put up the shameless self-promotion for Plague and I.
There you go.
You guys can always catch us on our Twitch channels. We'll be uploading these matches to YouTube, so you guys can always check them out later. If you like what you saw, go ahead and hit that follow button. That always helps out a lot. And we will see you guys next time.
All right, guys. Have a good night, guys.